I'm putting Johnny Manziel back in college at Texas A&M because the Aggies haven't won a championship since 1939. And despite winning the Heisman twice while in college, Johnny couldn't get them a championship either. But what if we dropped him into the modern era? I'll be trying to complete these 5 challenges with Johnny Manziel to save his school, all of it being on the hardest difficulty. But if I fail even just one of those challenges, I'll give away another copy of College Football 26 to a random commenter. The first thing we have to look at is his stats. He's going to have 98 throw power, some incredible elusiveness. He's very accurate, and he also has 98 speed, so I made him even better than he probably was in college. But I'm hoping to have a great time recording this one, so we're going to have some fun abilities like Extender and Magician on him as well, and we could even get Field General up to Platinum if we start to achieve more things. Since he's already won multiple Heisman trophies, I can't say that I'm surprised he's in the Heisman watch list for the season before it starts. But I will say there's some challenges I'm a bit worried about, like breaking the record for total touchdowns in the season with 66, beating our rivals Texas on the road, and even winning a national championship. We might be starting the season with an easier opponent like the Roadrunners, but playing Johnny Manziel's career inside Road to Glory greatly limits how much control I have. I can't play defense, and there's also only a few plays that I can choose from each time. Plus, I can't click on with the receivers after we make a catch, so they're gonna have to do stuff after I throw it to them. That's why I'm happy that we're playing UTSA first. It's a little bit of a warm-up where they're already about to get a sack on Johnny Manziel. I don't think we can pull that off. And I will say, I've already looked at the receiving core on this team. It's not like we have anybody with 97 speed or something, so I won't be able to just throw the ball up and have a lot of success. Instead, we're going to have to make some incredible plays with him, and on our next drive, we're starting off well. I'm actually a little bit worried since everybody on this team has like 90 speed or less. They're not going to get open, especially against SEC opponents, and that's where Johnny Manziel's legs are going to come up huge for us. But it's still early on for us. It's just a little ridiculous. UTSA currently has a lead, and all I've done is scramble. I really want to find somebody that's open, even if it's short little throws like this to our running back. And I have no idea what type of play I'm about to go through. I don't know if it's an RPO or what, but we're going to have a touchdown out there on the field, and Johnny Manziel misses. My goal is simple. I want to have a ton of highlight plays with him that make this gameplay entertaining, and of course, keeping the interceptions down. I just don't like what I've done so far in this one, and we're rolling out. We're throwing that into a little window that gets deflected. Was somebody else open? Most likely. And a 28% completion percentage is not the start that I'm hoping for, but we just need to put more zip on the ball. Due to really trying to avoid turnovers, I've been a little bit cautious early on, but that's held us back. It's made it so we haven't moved it well. And now that I'm just letting it fly, we've been able to fly down the field. We're going to break that sack attempt and scramble in easily. Whenever our offensive line breaks down, it's crucial that Johnny Manziel has the extender ability. And I know, he wore number 2 in college, not number 1, but this is all I could do inside Road to Glory. I feel like even if someone else on the team has the number that you want, you should be able to get whatever you want in this mode. And that could have been the first interception right there. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. That's why I'm not going to throw it to the corner route. I feel like it can be pretty hard to trust your tight ends on this game, though right here we are going to do that with a slant, getting into the end zone. And we've already gotten a rushing touchdown plus a passing one. We even have the ball back with a little bit of time remaining in this first half. We could get into field goal range, and that would put us up by 13. I think we've gotten off to a pretty good start. We're just going for about 5 more yards. Cutting up field's going to get us to the 10. And I'll be the first to admit, it was a pretty shaky start, but we're going into this second half with a 13-point lead, and Johnny Manziel breaking off a huge run already where he evades one of the defenders. See, that's more the stuff I was expecting. I want to know if Thomas is able to get open with this route as well. I just need a little bit more time back here. We're going to break the sack. These are the incredible plays that I wanted out of Johnny Manziel. Go for the hurdle as well. What is even happening? You can say a lot of things about the way that I play this game, but every so often there is some entertaining stuff that happens. And I'm not here to run the same play over and over again and try and cheese out the computer like you might online. I probably could have taken the drag route on that last drive, but I wanted to avoid just getting another few yards. Either way, we were only settling for 3. And I have noticed that for having 99 throw accuracy, Johnny's missed a lot of passes. It's really making me wonder what the rest of this year could look like. We're just going to go for our tight end and hope that he brings it in. He even stays on his feet. And I'm hoping for man-to-man coverage on this play. I had an idea that I wanted to hit, but instead we're getting a few more. At one point, I had a 28% completion percentage, and it's still not getting much better, but I'm blaming a lot of our struggles on our receiving core. Luckily, they decided to run commit in the final couple minutes once they got it back within 3, and we just threw it deep. But without that play right there, the stats would be pretty concerning. I mean, either way, I think everyone should be concerned with the fact that UTSA kept it within 3, scoring in the final seconds and giving us a real scare. Like I said, without being able to control certain things, we might run into some problems. And even our offensive coordinator is thinking that this is a big ask. He wants to build off of our last win in this next game, and he wants to give us a challenge, record 4 touchdowns and lead us to a win. If we're able to do that, I'm not sure whether or not we get a little bit of a reward, a little bit of a boost, but that could be nice, and we do get to spend our 9 skill points points on one more upgrade. I'm gonna get Platinum Extender. It just increases our ability to break sacks even more. I promise, it's gotta be a top 5 ability. I didn't realize that we played another smaller school as our next opponent either. But that is appreciated because after this game, I'm pretty sure that we face Notre Dame. Our goal against Utah State is to throw for 4 touchdowns. I know that we have to do that plus get the win. And with the passing plays I've seen out of Texas A&M's playbook so far, I just haven't been the biggest fan. We're gonna go for some bigger running ones though as we cut up to the 35. There's definitely been a lot from the ones that I can call with play action in them, and I'm just not sure if I can trust our players to make those plays. I feel like it typically leads to the offensive line just breaking down, but we've been able to get it inside the 10, and this is where we scramble for a touchdown. That's a pretty quick start against Utah State. We need 4 touchdowns in this game. I'm not sure if they were passing or rushing too, but if they need to be 4 passing ones, we're gonna have to start airing it out a little bit more. Quarterback runs are still pretty weird on Road to Glory because half the time you don't even realize that you have the ball. And I just know that if we keep on running play action, eventually it's gonna lead to us taking some sacks or throwing a pick. That probably was not the read right there. We're taking the quick little route. And all of a sudden it's 3rd and 10. We're gonna pull them down. We have our guys on an island. I didn't want to throw it to X. I can only trust myself to click on and make that catch whenever I'm not inside Road to Glory. And here's the question. Do we have the speed to beat Utah State deep? If it's there, I think we might have a touchdown as long as that safety doesn't play the ball, and we do. That is the best read I've made in this video so far. It turns out we were able to pull the zones down a little bit, and I feel like this tight end crosser play could be so good, but whenever it's man-to-man coverage, the tight ends just don't get that open. It did work in zone though. Sometimes even if it's a red meter, you just got to put a little bit of zip on that ball to get it where you want it. We're going to try to hurdle this defender. It's a fumble that they scoop up. And was that the right decision to make there? Absolutely not. But I wanted to see if Johnny Manziel could clear that kid. Going forward, I'm just not going to do that though, and we're able to break the sack, though this could be intercepted. There was a dude in the area that was near it. And that's the extender ability coming up clutch for us. Now we're just waiting for our slant to get open versus man-to-man, and it never did. I wish I was working with the receivers Johnny Manziel had whenever he was in college. We need Mike Evans out there. We need to make sure we take a timeout. And getting that off in time, we can kick our 3. Besides that fumble whenever I tried to clear a guy that was much taller than us, I feel like we've handled this game pretty well. Utah State's not keeping it as close as UTSA did last week. But we're already left with just 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter, and we've only been able to get a couple of touchdowns, plus we just fumbled it again. They're even gonna scoop it up and run it to the 10. And I just got confused because the camera wasn't focused on Johnny Manziel, who had the ball in his hands, but we can still make some other plays to make up for it. That one felt good. This time they want us to roll out to the left side and hit our tight end, so we're gonna go for another like 30-yard gain, putting us a little bit closer to the end zone where I'm gonna wait to throw it into that window, and we can't hang on. I want to get this touchdown through the air, but it also increases the chances of me throwing an interception, so we'll just run. And I think breaking the 66 total touchdowns in a season record is going to be challenging. 5-minute quarters might not be enough to pull that off. We're going to see if we can get any huge gains here. I think I had circle open, but I missed it. So now we're just going to playmaker and throw it straight near somebody. The fun part about using Johnny Manziel is he can extend the play forever, and I'm just being so cautious that we are missing out on multiple good opportunities. That is back-to-back times now where I just haven't thrown it because I didn't want to risk a turnover. And I really haven't been trying to take any deep shots with the streaks. I guess we could go for one since it is Utah State. See if it works out for us, though. They're near that ball, and we still catch it. It was a close call, but we were able to complete the challenge of getting 4 touchdowns in this game. We're going for some extra yards as well. And these first 2 matchups have been good warm-ups for what we're going to experience whenever we get to SEC play, but we still got to play better. It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. I am going for a touchdown on the final play of the game, and rolling out, Johnny Manziel's just going to miss him. It was schemed up well, though. That's something I think that we can take into the coming weeks. And at some point, we're going to score more than just 4 touchdowns. Apparently, we didn't beat Utah State by enough either. I have yet to see this in Road to Glory before, but it says, don't look on your social feed today. You and the team are getting roasted pretty bad, and there's only one way to respond to this. We're going to pull a KD. We're going to make a burner account to defend ourselves. And there was no backlash after that or anything. I guess we made a good enough burner they couldn't figure out it was us. Then we have our offensive coordinator saying nice job out there. We completed the challenge, which increases our coach trust. But that's the only reward that we got, and now I have an update on the burner situation. So Donovan Green, our tight end, texted us again. Yo, do you have a fake account? You accidentally posted in some dude's comments from your real account, defending yourself in the third person. You're getting roasted even harder now. And I didn't think it was possible to hurt the Johnny Manziel brand, but apparently we've taken a huge hit and we've lost followers because we didn't use our burner correctly. Turning comments off of the post is crazy to avoid shame as well. But Walker's Jiu-Jitsu sees this as a great opportunity to get a cheaper brand deal that we're going to decline. And if I had a way to edit the followers count inside Road to Glory, I would for sure, because Johnny Manziel would not be sitting here with 144. He would have been one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable player ever in college history. I can only imagine how high his NIL value could have been. He has a chance to back it up as well, as we're playing in the game of the week against the Fighting Irish. The goal is still simple too. I've been throwing a lot of interceptions in recent rebuilds, so I just want to keep away from turnovers. But we're having to deal with the home field advantage that comes with playing at Notre Dame, and early on, we're going to take a sack, or we're going to avoid it with Johnny Manziel, and Johnny is going to get free. He has a couple guys to get around, and he's still standing. Unfortunately, though, I'm not going to be able to change plays much in this. It's all going to come from the first few. It's whatever coach wants due to the home field advantage, no audibles for us, and we're missing the drag. I don't understand how that can even happen. Our routes that we're supposed to be going to aren't out there on the field, but we had a curl route that I saw pretty late. It's dropped, and we're being held to just a field goal. Apparently, we shanked it, then Notre Dame scored, so playing in the rain hasn't gone great for us so far. But Notre Dame already has one loss this season. They're doing anything they can to avoid another. We're already faced with another third down, and we should be able to pick this one up. We got just enough separation. But I just don't see a play like this having a chance at much success against the Irish. That's probably going to be a pick, isn't it? They didn't catch it. There was a flag against us though, so it is coming back due to holding. It wasn't worth the risk. And I guess in the future, I have to anticipate that a little bit sooner than I did, or we should just run. As far as I'm concerned, that's where we've had the largest gains in this game so far, but our slant route gets open and they have a safety back to catch him. That had the potential to be a touchdown. We're just going to be able to keep on moving the chains. And although things haven't gone exactly how I would have hoped so far, I think over time we're going to be okay versus Notre Dame, though we're losing yards. I really just want to change the play, but I had to hand it off. And we'll see if anybody gets open in the end zone here. I didn't want to take that. We're going to scramble instead and then try to slide, but end up in there anyway. There's multiple times in this game where we should have fumbled like we did last week. But we've been lucky. We're going to have a guy in motion here. Knowing I got to get this one out quick, I had a read in mind. Nobody is guarding him. And there is currently zero home field advantage for Notre Dame because of how well we're moving the ball. I feel like I'm in the zone right now. We're having a lot of good games in a row. This could be another solid pass. And we are working it down the field. Man-to-man coverage is fine, but we didn't have the time. I really don't know how they got to Johnny Manziel that quick. I was just going to wait until we got open, though we'll go for another rushing touchdown with his speed. And I feel like this has been an incredible first half for us. I don't even want to take any risks to end it, but we have an opportunity to get into field goal range and go up by even more, which is why I'm still trying. We only have one more play to get there though, and it's going to be 4 verticals. We will see if anything is there or if we just need to try and pick it up on the ground. I don't think this is going to be enough. In fact, it wasn't. They have me running Hail Mary in the final seconds. It would stink if this is how I threw my first interception. So I'm kind of being patient and just seeing if we can pull anything off that's close. But it wasn't enough to reach the end zone. After getting a stop to start this third quarter, we have the football and we're looking to get some more points. But I just feel like one of these days that play is not going to work and they've gotten it immediately. But we have Johnny Manziel. Do you think that they're going to be able to stop Johnny Manziel and all of his crazy plays he can pull off? Sometimes it's easy to forget how much of a magician he was back there in the pocket. So what I should be doing more often is just running around and making crazy things happen. Normally, you never want to run backwards, but I feel like we could get away with it with him. And I'm not a fan of a halfback screen on third down. Normally, it doesn't even work on this game, but we got the first part right. We made the catch. Notre Dame's the team struggling, though. They couldn't do anything with the ball, so we have it back. And look at that. I have that play down now. I'm able to make that read into that window. I also want to say, our offense has been much better than theirs. They haven't run the ball for anything. So I like the way that we're playing, despite being on the road and facing a top 25 team. I'm really looking for that 2-possession lead though on this drive, and we're gonna try and take it. We literally had it right there with half a second longer back there in the pocket, and now they're guarding our receiver tight, but he still makes the great catch. I gotta start learning these guys' names if they're gonna bring in the ball like that. After the refs looked at this one in instant replay though, they decided Noah Thomas didn't get a foot in bounds. And you would think the ref there would be able to tell, but he wasn't. It's just so weird that as he was going to make this catch, he then took his right foot and pointed it out so he wouldn't get it in bounds there. It stinks. It makes it 3rd and 10 for us, where we're most likely just going to settle for 3. But we missed that field goal, and the next time we have the ball back, we're on the 3-yard line. I want to close this game out, but we're going to need to break off a big run. And since Ruben Owens couldn't do that, it is now 3rd down where we're open, but Johnny misses. Sure enough, Notre Dame takes that opportunity. They score, so we're trailing by 3 points with a minute left in this game, and we can't trust him throwing it. The stadium pulse is going to be through the roof as well. Audibles are going to be very hard to come by, but I know that we got Ruben Owens deep as he's going to bring that one in. We almost don't want to score too soon just because our defense could give up some points really fast. That could have been bad, but we were able to sneak by the linebacker. We're going to hit our drag route and get a little bit closer. Now I'm trying to change the play, but it doesn't seem to be working. I'm not going to be able to get anything here, and I have no idea what we're even running for 3rd and goal. I had the touchdown, but I didn't take it because I didn't know where he was supposed to be, and we can still take it in. That was way too stressful of an ending because I saw circle, and then I knew that once I didn't hit it, we might not score, but it all worked out. We just aren't getting enough touchdowns. That's the one thing that's holding us back. We're 3 games into the season. We only have 4 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns. We have to hit 66 total touchdowns to break that record, complete that challenge. And like I said, if I fail even one of these, it's another copy of College Football 26 to give away. Luckily, before we get to all of our SEC games, we have one more opponent that's a little bit weaker. It's Hawaii, and this is the perfect opportunity for us to pad our stats a bit. I also felt like this was a good time to pull out our black jerseys that Texas A&M wore against LSU. Johnny Manziel never got to wear black in college, and we started the game off with a fullback dive that was fumbled away. This is the least ideal spot to start a drive for a game, that's for sure, but I guess we could go for a 98-yard touchdown run if we somehow got free. And remember, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to win this matchup, so all I want to do is get as many touchdowns as possible. This is one of the last teams that we're going to be able to throw the ball all over, that we're going to be able to make some massive plays without putting in too much effort, and we'll see if we can get in right here, though they're dropping a lot of guys back into coverage, so if I throw it into one of those windows, it's just not going to be open. I'm going to have to step up, I'm going to have to run, and we're still going to have to come close as we do get in. Here's where I'm really going to trust Hawaii not having good corners though, and it's so underthrown that they should have caught that. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong there, but that was terrifying to see. The ball was just floating in the air forever, and if they're going to get in, we're not going to be able to throw for a touchdown, though I want to throw for one so bad that instead of taking the free one on the ground, I just handed it to them on a silver platter. That's how I throw my first interception. It's getting returned back for 6. I hate myself. That was such a bad way to have that first pick. The touchdown was literally already there. They gifted it to us, and I decided to pass up on it. It is what it is, though. We're just going to be in a tie game versus Hawaii. What are they doing? Like, I was going to let that slide for a second, but then I watched it back again, and they're just sitting there. I don't even know how to describe this in a great way. What are they doing in this game? I know that the Yell Leaders have some odd clips that you can find on the internet, but of all things to put in here, that is the one the EA chose. It's just an interesting decision. That's for sure. At least Johnny Manziel is running for a lot. And I just want to be throwing the ball through the air, to be honest. We've done a lot of running in this game. It's just easier. I can't trust these guys to stay in their position once they get there for me to actually throw it to them, which is why I've just been running. But at some point, I gotta be getting some passing touchdowns too, and that's gonna help us get closer. All right, my plan here, just take a slant route unless they're in zone coverage, and then in that case, I almost threw a pick. Maybe this time we'll get a look that's not zone, or we can try and fit it in that window, which almost went bad. If that would have been an interception, I would not have been surprised. That should be, because we got hit or something. Why was that so underthrown? I had such a great run before this game, and now it's just gone south. That ball should have been at least 15-20 yards farther down the field, which is why I didn't even want to try and get it to triangle right there. And I gave Johnny Manziel 98 throw power. I shouldn't be questioning whether or not he can put the ball where we want it. All I want to see is us getting a 2-possession lead before we go into halftime, though there was a mismatch over there, so it's not going to come off of a field goal. And maybe I just need to look in Ruben Owens' direction more, because he's been a great receiver for us. Lots of careless mistakes in this matchup, though. It was bound to happen at some point. We should not be able to pick up this first down. But I didn't trust our drag routes to get us the 5 yards it would have taken, and he just got destroyed. Here on 2nd and 10, Ruben Owens is who I'm looking at, though if he draws the attention of that defender, it helps us. And finally, I've been able to find my favorite play. At least coach has given me the option to run it. It's this double post one, though I still didn't end up making a read. There's just something about the Road to Glory camera angle that really worries me whenever throwing the ball, and that's what it is right there. That's what it is. Go ahead, just get your pick 6. I wasn't even prepared to make the tackle. I don't know why this had to happen against Hawaii. We just played perfectly against Notre Dame. You know what? This is what I get for making fun of the Yell Leaders. So here's what I'm going to do. If I throw an interception in the next 4 games, I'm going to give away another copy of College Football 26. I went into this saying I'm going to be much better in this video. I'm not going to throw a bunch of interceptions. And do you know what I've done so far? It's just been turnover after turnover. did he just run backwards at us? I have to be seeing stuff. We are in a 28-23 game against Hawaii. I'm not even running the ball either, which could have helped with the clock. We are in an interesting situation on 3rd and 5, though. It looks like Green is going to be so open that I was going to throw that no matter what. And we got it over the linebacker's head, but he couldn't catch it. Now we've lucked out because our defense held the Rainbow Warriors to a 4-and-out. But if they had a good offensive drive, they could have beat us. I just want to end this game, and all it's going to take is a first down. I don't think that they're going to be able to knock that loose, but this one went way different than I thought it would. Again, because of how many interceptions I threw and the fact that we didn't even score in the first half. For the next 4 matchups after this, if I throw 1 interception, it's another copy of College Football 26 given away. And I can't even take all credit for our impressive win streak after that last performance. I'm just going to credit my teammates. That's the safe way to do it. It increases your leadership. Maybe that makes them play a little bit better. And it's time that we play another ranked opponent on the road. Headed into this one, we're ranked number 6 in the country, so you might not think it'd be a big deal if we lost. But one of the video's challenges is winning the SEC championship, and we can't even make it to that game potentially if we lose. I would like to think that you could get one conference loss and still be in, but I guess you never really know. There's 16 teams in the SEC now, and I'm not sure how the tiebreakers for it work. So if I want to guarantee us a chance at winning the title, we might just have to stay undefeated during SEC play. That was a rough sack to take there, making it 3rd and 20. I'm gonna go for that back shoulder throw. It is able to be brought in. But that was a risky read to make, because if the corner turned his head there, we would not have had it. I'm going for the passing touchdown as well, since we were so open. Honestly, I don't think you could ask for a better start than we've had in this game. As we continue to dominate versus Missouri, that's going all the way to the 2. And I want to make this read to Platt so bad, but if it's not there, I risk throwing a pick, so he had to hand it off. That's going to cost us whenever it comes to reaching our total touchdown total, but I couldn't risk having a turnover, especially since we can just get a touchdown on our next drive with Johnny. And this is by far the best start that we've had so far. Made some sausage and eggs for dinner, and I come back and all of a sudden I'm playing much better. But they have been able to get us to a 3rd and 10 where Johnny is sensing immediate pressure, and if we're able to run for this first down, or even make a play out of this, that is just crazy. For a second, I thought I had that, but I didn't, and then it became 21-10, which means we are starting to blow our lead. Missouri is just a very streaky team. They started off playing horribly. Now they're playing extremely well. That throw's out of bounds. And it wasn't even open either. I was asking to throw an interception there. This one's off target too. Thankfully, we get the ball to start the second half as well, though once again, you can see the pressure. Johnny is able to evade it, and the fact that we're getting the first down is nuts. If anybody deserves the magician ability back there in the pocket though, it really is him. We're gonna probably have a chance at throwing a pick on this play. I had the right read, I just didn't have the right type of pass. It should have been a bullet one like we had here, which gets us the first. There have definitely been some plays in this game where we've used our legs more than anything else, but I'm also trying to throw it more. And that's how we're going for the touchdown here, waiting to get above the zone, putting it in the right spot, and floating it right there. Missouri scored quickly, but that's okay. I'm looking to go for another touchdown since we've already had a few in this game. Somehow, both those players avoided tackling us, so I had to stunt on Missouri for a second. You know that they're getting frustrated dealing with Johnny Manziel throughout this entire matchup, though that needs to be a harder throw. I'm finding ways to get behind the defense. These passes just need to be crisp, like that. And this literally feels like a no-brainer. We have the bubble all day. It should be a touchdown. The block holds up, and it's an easy one. It really feels good to be coming out and playing like this, especially after that 3-interception game versus Hawaii. But we know at some point the interceptions are probably going to come back. I'm just going to go for scrambling for the first here. I was thinking about a downfield pass, but I wanted to run instead. If I'm not careful, I'm definitely going to jinx the fact that I've had a really great game so far. And on a 3rd and 7, hoping for the touchdown, if we don't get it, it's not going to be the end of the world, but it was there. Now I feel the need to force it deep a few times just to see if we can make something happen. Though if I throw it up and it's an interception, I'm going to be really frustrated. So the guy would have to be naked in the end zone, and we almost had it there, except it was underthrown. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, there it is. Copy of College Football 26, another one. I think I have to just refrain from throwing deep balls the rest of the video. That's literally been half of my interceptions, and I even knew it was coming. The thing is as well, we had the jump on him. The corner might have been able to play it, but it should have been a touchdown, and it was just underthrown so bad that it had to result in this turnover. And even if you say it was all because of Johnny Manziel having wear and tear effects, he only had -7 throw power, which would still leave him with 91. That's just a really annoying thing to happen, but I've added it to my my list of copies of College Football 26 I have to give away. We're ready to play LSU. And you better be following me on Twitter, because that's where I ended up giving away all the copies last year. Headed into Death Valley, though, I am a little bit concerned. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with us, but they are supposed to be pretty good next year, so we have to keep that in mind, especially as all 4 of these guys are chasing down Johnny and he still completes it. It's just a great time to play with the high overalls on this game. They can make some incredible plays. We should get this 3rd and 7, but we are short. And I'm having a hard time changing the play or getting anything to go the way that I want it to so far, but at least we had an open slant. If we can get a cover 2 look as well, we might be able to have a huge play here. Instead, I wasn't paying attention. Staring down the field, dropping too far back in the pocket, that's going to lose you 14 yards, and it might lose us even more as we can't outrun them. So much for how well the game against Missouri went. We are not doing that same thing here. And as we get closer and closer to halftime, we've literally been held to 0 points. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there, though. They were getting instant pressure in. They've locked up with their man-to-man coverage, so maybe this is where we return to just running it with Johnny. And it's going to be a problem if we can't pick up this 3rd and inches, which is why I'm immediately throwing it. Well, that was a very frustrating first half. In the second half, it would be impossible to have as bad of a first half as the last one. Though maybe I should take that back, because we've already missed a throw. We're just getting this one out to only gain a couple. And I have an idea of what I want to take on 3rd down, but I just got that one to him. This LSU pressure is unlike any other pressure that we've seen so far. And the stadium pulse is certainly not helping me at all, but I think because they're running man-to-man, we had a chance to run for a lot, and I messed that up. Could have been a touchdown there. Instead, we're just going to have to settle getting to the 20. And I'm going to have to guess what button is what. Thankfully, that one showed up because I wanted to hit the drag the entire time. This is another 3rd and inches like the one in the first half that I really don't want to mess up. We're going to be able to catch this one and actually make the throw. It's always great when you can have a player just sit there, wait to make his catch, and that's off target. Watch Noah Thomas here, though. As I extend the play, he should get open unless this is man-to-man coverage. And if it is, our corner route's not there at all. We're just going to throw a bullet pass, get closer. And I'm going to say this right now. I want to get credit for the touchdown, but I would much rather win this game, so I handed it off. 66 total touchdowns this season is looking less and less likely. And how is it even possible for LSU to have 4 guys in trying to stop Johnny Manziel before he can get the ball out? Our offensive line does not want to see us succeed. That's fine, though. We're going to get the first. And we legitimately might win this game without Johnny Manziel having a single touchdown unless we get a huge play right here, which isn't happening. I have a feeling that getting a touchdown is not going to be very easy to pull off, especially since it is now 3rd and 14. They were running man-to-man, but we were able to get around 0, and he looks like a fool. That was some solid footwork from Johnny there. We had the tutty. But once again, we're just getting destroyed back there, so we're going to hand it off. A touchdown would make me feel a lot more comfortable about this one. I think if we just scramble, it will be possible. We're short, but that's much better than accidentally throwing an interception, and there's our tight end. By the time the LSU would score, they'd wasted all the time on the clock, so we're going to win. And even though we're taking home the rivalry, this should be something to celebrate. This stat line is what would happen if I played for Iowa. 100 passing yards might be the standard over there, but it's not if you want to win the Heisman Trophy. And to be midway through the season, only have 1,400 passing yards and 10 passing touchdowns is a major problem. The only reason our stats aren't that bad is because our rushing totals are incredible. I didn't realize how bad our numbers were looking. I thought we were doing better than that. And I was a little bit thrown off by this. Maybe it's just a tradition for this rivalry game, but it's being played on a neutral site. I feel like this is something that would make sense before these teams were in the same conference, but we're just going to work with it. A great way to open up the game. And we're shooting to score a touchdown within like the first couple minutes, though we have nowhere to go. Johnny Manziel just took a shot to the head. It is 3rd and long. Once again, not much time back there, but we're able to break their first attempt at a sack, fight for the first. And we'll see if we can hit Owens on this play. It's normally my read. The running back gets open deep, but we just don't have that much of an opportunity to do it. And I know that you thought X was open, but I've thrown an interception there before. I'm learning from my mistakes. I mean, he could not look more open than that, but he always finds a way to have people around him. That should have been picked. And here we go. A little bit of a play action boot. We're going to put it in, pull it out, and then all of a sudden, we're going to throw it hard, and it goes to the wrong receiver. But we're in. Never mind. Apparently, we were marked a few inches short. A few inches does make that much of a difference. That's caught. And I'm actually starting to enjoy all the play action in this playbook, only because it works pretty well having someone like Johnny back there. If for whatever reason our offensive line breaks down like it typically does, he can normally make a play afterwards anyway. And that's why at this point in the season, I just don't have that many passing yards, though we should be able to get a good bit here, or I run out of bounds. This is starting to look bad. I was hoping to get my passing totals up, and instead, we're sitting at 32 yards here near the end of the first half, though we broke their first attempt at a sack, and now we have a huge play coming, except there's a flag. so we're not getting the touchdown. We're punting it back to them. You can tell that he's upset about that. I didn't even know I crossed the line of scrimmage. And we've gotten it back relatively quick. We still have time left in this first half, but we just got very lucky. We avoided the safety, and now we're going to get like a 35-yard gain. I think what I'm starting to figure out is I just need to hang on to the ball for as long as possible. If I sit back here for long enough, somebody is bound to get open after, and that is how we're going to move the ball deep for lots of passing yards. I can't believe how confident I just was in my offensive line there as well. As I'm saying that, they let us down. And it really is so hit or miss. It's hard to tell what's going to happen, though that's another mistake. Well, 3rd and 22, not expecting to score a touchdown, but we're coming close. And the ref said he hit the pylon on his way down, so we're going to take it. We're also going to continue the same strategy that was working at the end of the first half, and that is needing a lot of time back here in the pocket. But that's not going to happen every time, even if I was hoping it would, and this is going to be a 50-50 ball that's going to be intercepted. I mean, he literally ran straight to it. It was double teamed. It wasn't there. But I wanted to take the chance that we could somehow pick it up. It makes me feel better that I would have thrown an interception anyway. It wouldn't have just been because we had that interception whenever the streak was underthrown. This is where the money's at, though. It's all of these rushing plays that we get huge gains on. How's he still up? That's going to put us in a pretty good position where they're running cover 2, but we have to catch that. I really don't know how you let that one hit off your hands and you don't bring it in. We had someone too, but we're just going to have to settle for 3. Apparently, our kicker is just incapable of having a good moment. Breaking the sack, though. It's setting up for a broken play. Johnny Manziel still moving around back there, and he goes down. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what I've been doing this game. It's had the potential to be a lot of fun, though, because we can get throws like this one, and it's caught. That right there is what I expect every single time whenever I make something good happen for us. Do we have them beat deep? We do. And I'm gonna be honest, I was just expecting that to be a terrible throw. That one made us lose yards. But the 99 accuracy, 98 throw power finally worked the way that it should, and this is the safe option. With 2.5 minutes left in the half, we have a chance to get more points as well, even though we don't need it. But we're losing some of our best passing plays due to some penalties. It's really getting frustrating, though we have the exact matchup that we want right there. They fell for the play action. They didn't think our tight end was going to be on a streak, I guess, because we're going to get a huge touchdown. 87 yards through the air. That is something that I wanted. We have 305 passing yards in this game. I'm pretty sure approaching halftime, we did not have that much, and they fell for it 2 times in a row. Is it because they're run committing trying to stop us? Like, that's the only reason I can think 2 streaks would be that naked. And I'll take it, especially since at the end of the game, Arkansas started scoring a lot easier. We get to win another rivalry, the Southwest Classic, and we also get double the passing yards that we should have had. Another thing that could help is we've gotten our field general upgraded to gold. So with that ability, it'll show post-snap blitzers, but we can't get it to platinum. What I can do, though, is I can get mobile resistance up to gold, which will help some of our passes. And we're about to get Johnny Manziel in the booth because Bryce Anderson is trying to get his music career up, and he needs to record a mixtape in his room with some feature artists. So you know what? He's got to get on there. Apparently, this is going well for us on social media after the last incident. The burner stuff didn't work out well, but this is causing us to go viral. And clearly, Money Manziel was not focused on his grades. He didn't come here to play school. This doesn't matter. Who cares about any of that? He just had one of his better performances against Arkansas, though. We have to play South Carolina and Florida back-to-back. Then we have a 2-week bye before we finish out the year. And what did I say? There are multiple teams undefeated in SEC play, so we just have to keep this up. These last 2 games before we get the bye weeks are very crucial as well because we're dealing with a lot of wear and tear damage picking up. It's been stacking and stacking, and at some point it's going to cause a problem. We'll see if we can get enough time in this one, though. Doesn't look like it. Not exactly the way I was hoping that this one would open up, and that pass is going to be caught but out of bounds. It's looking like we're going to get held to a 3 and out, though we're going to try and make a play by playmakering. They did not stick with him, and I thought that they might. That was a disaster. Just like that, the first quarter is gone. So 5-minute quarters instead of 6 has definitely made the difference. If we had 6, our stats would look better. But I wanted it to be a challenge to get 66 total touchdowns in a season, not something that we could easily make happen. And we're going for one here. I'm going to have to make both of these guys miss and then get around that last guy too. Those are the types of gains I'm hoping to see. It did pop up before the play that they were going to be in cover 4, but I didn't have the time that I needed for the route to develop I was going to take, and I didn't hear either. Clearly, they're getting in a lot faster than I'm able to handle, and I'm going to be honest, I think I've had enough of this playbook. It's just not working out that well for us at all. It's a fumble. I need more options out there on the field. I need us to be out there in like 5 wide all the time. We're hoping to extend this play Come back to the ball, please. That's going to work for us to go to the 30. But with the receivers that we have out there, we're better off just taking these checkdowns, not going for big stuff. On a 3rd and 5, we're going to look for our tight end, or we're just going to run. He didn't even block there, but we didn't need him to. We get stopped. And this is where the play action's either going to work or we're going to have a lot of dudes in our face. Johnny is not going to escape, or he is. We've even been given a chance to throw up a Hail Mary at the end of this first half. Do I want to do it? Not really, but I saw an opportunity where it could work out for us, and we almost caught it off the deflection. I know you all saw that as well. We literally had it running under it. And if there's anything I'm picking up on, it's keeping tight ends on streak routes because they seem to get open most of the time. They literally run just straight by the defenders. With a corner route, though, we're also going to have the potential to have a huge gain. It just took a while to get there. And I feel like it's every play with the play action. I don't know how they would even fall for it at this point. There's 2 routes out there on the field. That's the issue I have with the playbook. Sometimes we get great blocking like we've had right here. I was doing my best to not take off, but it's really your only option. And this can't be serious, coach. We can't keep having 2 routes out there on the field. They're sending 3. They're dropping back everybody. I'm going to throw an interception or I'm just going to fumble. Maybe we can get away with a little quick slant, catch that one, get the touchdown. And the only reason I don't want to switch things up is we have been winning every single game so far despite not getting many passing yards. Like, it's an interesting play style that I'm not sure is going to work forever, but we can't mess with it until we lose. I've almost perfected it with this team. It works pretty well for us. We had him. We just needed a little bit longer. And yes, I could have taken the drag. I could have picked us up like 5 yards. We could get 15 here. But half the time our receivers drop it anyway, so we might as well go for the big ones, or we could just punt it back to them. South Carolina would score, which is going to put us down by 4 points, but we still have plenty of time to respond. I'm really not worried at all. I just feel confident that we're going to be able to clutch up. We've been able to clutch up in the past. And what are the odds that they just let Green run by everybody? I mean, we have seen it before. It was there for a split second, but it would have been a risky pass to make. And this works just as well. We have to take time off of the clock anyway. I don't want Lenora Sellers to have too much time if we end up getting our touchdown. Come on. Ruben Owens has had some incredible moments, and then he's had some very disappointing moments like that one right there. I should have just run originally. I was just worried that they were going to break free and then sack us, though we're going to have to do it anyway, and we're not getting enough. I think we've all accepted, though, that what's been happening is not going to work for the long-term future. We were taking too much wear and tear damage. We were putting up some awful stats. And I always like Clemson's playbook in Dynasty, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it in Road to Glory. I also said that all that wear and tear damage on our team was eventually going to catch up to us. It's ridiculous. We're playing our 9th straight game without a bye week, but that's just how it works sometimes, and what a way to start. As you can see, I have a lot more guys out there on the field that I can throw it to. We're not going to be out there in play action. We're going to spread it out, have more options, and anytime I can make a simple read with an RPO for a few yards, I'm going to go for it. We're already completing more passes than I would have if I was still in Texas A&M's playbook, and it's mainly because coach was just having us have a deep pass play every single time, and here it's not that way. There's lots of little checkdowns that I can take that allow us to get like 5 or 6 yards. We're still going to need guys that can make plays out of it, but I trust they will be able to. And here on 3rd and 10, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take the route that I was looking at, so we're going to lose yards. What a way to end the drive, getting out of field goal range, just playing way too scared. We're not going to take a safety here, that's for sure. We've just lost some of that scrambling ability that we're starting to get back. I'm pretty sure that Johnny Manziel, after getting 2 weeks of rest, is going to feel like a whole new man. We're going to be able to run all over teams again, which is going to be nice, and that'll get us a lot of yards. We needed it. We might not have reached the end zone with our new playbook yet, but here's the thing. Our completion percentage already looks way better than it did before, and I know that they're going to send in some heat here. At least it showed that they were going to send in some heat. We're going to be able to avoid 1, avoid 2, but not the 3rd. It just wasn't great pocket awareness from me, and I'm in a touchdown drought. I've not been able to get us a touchdown recently, but I think we're about to change it. Fortunately, our defense was able to make DJ Lagway throw an interception that put us in a great spot. And apparently after we scored, that just ripped the band-aid off. They were able to score as well. Our one got open late. It's so weird. Guys will be getting fully clamped up, and then half a second later, they have all the space in the world, but you can't get the ball to them until later. We're going to get out of bounds. And just watch what I'm saying with Green. Number 18. Never mind, it's zone coverage, so it's not going to react the same. We're just going to get out of there. But I feel like man-to-man in this game is so much harder to read than it has been in other Maddens that I've played. It's probably a bit more realistic, though. I will give it that, and we're going to be able to take a large gain on this one. But can we finish the drive with another touchdown? That's the real question. And we're getting destroyed. I mean, that was just ridiculous right there. We're going to have to escape the pressure if we don't want to lose yards again, or we're going to have to throw it away. I was spamming the button. It just didn't let me. But maybe the space is what we needed to get into the end zone here. I really like the idea of just throwing it over to Green. They had a weird matchup on him, and I'm actually more confident 20 yards out than being 5 yards away. Every time that we get our touchdown, though, you know that Florida's going to be able to respond. Taking a lot of time back there, we did get what we needed to get that ball out. And could it be I just need to be more confident in our offensive line? I'm pretty sure if I would have left the pocket there, we wouldn't have been able to make that same play happen. Though that was a great playmaker. In the midst of just having a great time immediately rolling out, I might have been ruining our offense, and that could have been it. But who cares? As long as we're winning, it doesn't matter how. If I still want to break the record for total touchdowns in a season, though, I'm going to have to score a lot more the rest of the year. And I think it's going to involve getting like 5 in every single game, so we have a few more that I'm looking to get here. 6 would be super sweet, but it's asking a lot since we're already in the fourth quarter, though we're getting closer. And I feel like once you reach the end of the game, the defenses just don't play as hard, especially once it's already over. We might be able to get them to bite a couple times, thinking that we're just going to run out the clock, but instead we're actually trying to run up the score. And it said that this was going to be cover 1, so what we're going to do is we're trying to hit our drag. Now, you all can let me know, because I'm having to react to it in live time, but was it possible to even get that ball out? I don't think so. I think I just got suffocated from the start, but that's the look I'm hoping to see, except the safety's going to get back to play it. You know what? We have to take our 3. I really threw that ball half a second too soon, but our defense was able to get us a quick stop, and that is placed on the money. I was a little bit afraid that since I didn't set my feet, it wasn't going to work for us, but it did. We're going to escape the pressure, get that tutty. And there is 15 seconds left on the clock, where we are going for a send down the field. We have to get touchdowns, and it worked. Has that been there all year? Potentially. I haven't even looked in that direction because I knew our receivers weren't that quick, but maybe I should be. And what did I say? We need at least 5 touchdowns a game from here on out. As of right now, if you add up our passing touchdowns and then our rushing touchdowns, we have 31 of the 66 total needed. So from here, we literally need to average 5 touchdowns exactly while winning a championship. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but at least we can still get into the SEC championship. Assuming that we win out, Texas could still ruin that at the end of the year. And when it comes to the Heisman Trophy, we've actually fallen behind Gunnar Stockton. I didn't even consider that it would be possible for me to not win the Heisman race with Johnny Manziel. But it is, and that was supposed to be the easiest challenge of this video. Maybe we can throw some streaks up, though. That was something I said I was gonna look into. Impossible to do, though, when you don't even have a second to breathe back there. We're gonna have to have a great throw on 3rd down, which is what we came up with. I just don't appreciate Johnny literally getting annihilated every single play, but you know what? It works out. It forces me to get out of the pocket faster, which leads to some bigger scrambles. We've had our rest after our bye, and he feels just as quick as he did at the beginning of the season. We need the touchdowns. We're just getting instantly pressured on 3rd and goal again, and it made it impossible to complete any passes once we got in the red zone. So I think you can see why I just scramble so much of the time instead of throw. If our team was awful, that would make sense. We are going to get pressured like that. But as much as Texas A&M likes to choke or have some letdowns of a season, their offensive line is not that terrible, and that probably should be picked. Like I just want to illustrate, we literally fell underneath him. Owens just didn't pick up either of the players running by. And whenever I am thinking that that type of pressure could get at me right before every single play, it holds us back. That is for sure. 14% of my passes have been completed so far. That's right, 14%. Though we might finally get a sizable gain, we got a good route. And we needed that because Auburn scored 14. Maybe that woke our defense up, though, because they seem to have come to play. I don't think we're going to be able to have a great grab. Just thought it was worth it to put that one up there, see what we could come up with, and that was such a tight one. I'm getting a little bit more bold because I'm realizing if I don't start scoring 5 touchdowns a game, I'm just not going to complete the challenges I set out to. And this is the perfect look. Field General showed me that they have cover 6 over on that side of the field. So I thought it was a perfect look. Maybe it wasn't. That ball wasn't really placed where I was hoping it would be. And we head into the second half trailing, but we could still come back. There's plenty of time. It's just scoring 5 touchdowns a game. That's a lot of pressure. I wasn't thinking much about getting touchdowns for a majority of this video. And I was kind of just enjoying the process of getting a couple and then making some wild plays every so often. Here, though, we need to finish it off, make it easy. We somehow didn't get tackled, and that puts us at 3 in this game. With the way that Auburn's lined up defensively as well, I would like to think that we could get a 4th. I just don't know if we're going to have the speed to go all the way. It's okay, though. It put us down in a better position where we got hit. And I feel like in Dynasty, they fixed the offensive line just breaking down immediately. It just doesn't happen as often as it did whenever this game first came out, but Road to Glory, they don't care. It also stinks that's a 4th and inches, because it's not like we're going to kick a field goal from there. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to go for it, but I have no control. I don't get to be out there on the field for whatever reason. I don't know why it's set that way, but I should have run up the middle. And that's what second guessing will do to you. Quick little hard pass, though, gets us the first. You see, every so often, whenever I'm throwing the ball like this, I might have more turnovers, which happens, but I feel like we end up scoring a lot more as well, so it's worth it to just sling it. That's allowed us to take a lead, which we didn't have for this entire matchup, and we should have had a safety right there. Instead, what we have is a wide open receiver at midfield with nobody else around him. And that could have gone extremely differently. We certainly got lucky, but I will take it. We're getting another huge gain now. This is honestly setting up to be a 6-touchdown performance. I wanted to put that one straight into our tight end. I'll still make the tight throw there. I wouldn't have done that for the first half of the season, that's for sure. But now I'm just taking those risks. If I think we have a step, we're throwing. If it gets knocked out, so what? We can recover from that. Though I can't handle this. Not sure what was expected of me there, but we know that they like to run commit in these situations, so I tried it. The funny thing we can do after Auburn is scored is we can just try it again. Why not? Take those shots down the field in the final seconds. Instead of a QB kneel, it gets us a tutty. And that's how we're going to have our best offensive game of the entire year. Were there a couple mistakes? Absolutely. But you knew what you were getting into whenever you turned on a Bordeaux video. You're going to get some great menu gameplay. You're going to get some knowledge that you might not have known about the game, and then you're going to see some bad reads. If it ever changes from that, you should actually really consider that I am AI. Whenever I was getting those comments back in the day, it was funny. The monotone Central Kentucky accent just wasn't hitting for some people. I'm not here to scream at you 99% of the time. Every so often, some stuff happens where it is a little bit justified. But I just like to chill and play a lot of this game, and I mean a lot. We got to be over 2,000 now. In fact, I'm a little bit disappointed I'm still under that number, but we're going to clear it before college football 26. And if this was not my full-time job, the funny thing is I'd still probably have that many hours. I've always loved sports games. There was even a phase where Madden was my favorite one. I know that might be hard to believe, but maybe 26 can be where they redeem themselves again. That would be nice. I would also do some pretty awful things for them to fix Madden Mobile again. I don't know how they managed to ruin the mobile game that badly. They got like 280 overalls in there now, like that makes any sense at all. But that game back in the day, 2015-ish, was the best thing out. In fact, I'd argue if you didn't have that in your childhood, you lived a worse one than me. And I feel like I really got blessed. I still lived in an era where we hung outdoors all the time. We still did a lot of that stuff, but I also got to have the best of the gaming world too. I'm just not inside all the time. That was the best. Now, I don't know how the childhoods work. I don't know if those kids go outside. But I think we can all see how seriously I'm taking Mississippi State. I've not focused in on this game one bit at all. In fact, I've just been running around throwing it. I mean, we're up 14-0. I don't even remember scoring twice. This game's not been memorable. But even they were eventually able to make my life miserable by generating some pressure. And please don't throw an interception. That would ruin everything. I've been on a good run. I saw that they were about to get in immediately there, so I'm just going to take off and truck through this dude. And let's see what they're doing on this play. Are they going to allow us to throw for it? They are, but they knocked it out. It would be simpler if I just scrambled in for the touchdown, but I want the passing touchdown instead. And just look at this alignment on Noah Thomas. I know that this is going to either be a touchdown or it's going to be cover 3 and not work. Sure enough, touchdown, assuming his 90 speed can go all the way, and he brings it in for 6. This is genuinely just sad for Mississippi State. I mean, what are we doing? They are getting embarrassed nationally. We're going to go for another like 40-yard gain. And I think we might actually be able to put up like 8 touchdowns in this game just at the rate that we're going right now. We're going to hold our block there. We just have to get around one more. And even if we didn't, guess what I'm going to do? It's in the red zone, so I'm going to immediately roll out to the right side. I'm going to look for our tight end, or I'm going to run it. I've watched players like Mahomes and Kelsey do it so many times in my life that it's just become nature for me to as well. I think we might be able to go for like another 50-yard play. No, it's going to be a touchdown. Mississippi State stinks. You know, Ole Miss can talk all the trash that they want after what we're seeing here. And is that the part of the state where Brett Favre was stealing a bunch of tax dollars and stuff too? Is that part of the issue there? Come on, break the sack. We knew that we were going to break the sack. Let's go for some more highlights. We are just thriving right now, and it was needed. I'm going to be honest. It was needed. Please don't be an interception. Not after all of this. This is the only way I'm not going to have to give away a second copy of College Football 26 from this video because of the original challenge. And we're going to just keep going back to our tight end. Why wouldn't we? This has honestly just been a beautiful display of offense. Look at that man-to-man coverage. You're not going to beat us deep with that alignment. Come on. Mississippi State literally just can't stop us right now. I don't know what it is about them versus all the other teams that I have faced so far. but they are playing so poorly that we are somehow getting this one to the 5. By the way, it is only the end of the third quarter. That's right, I don't want to see this motion again. We do have an issue though. Before we scored another touchdown, I got pulled from the game, so I couldn't even rack up my stats anymore. It would have been nice to tack on one more, but we're going to have to be stuck at 7. Now we have to go into our last regular season game of the year against Texas. My offensive coordinator wants us to complete at least 50% of our third downs, and I would sure hope that we could achieve that, or else we're probably not going to win. Jaden Platt's also hitting us up. There's a huge part of our grade, but we don't have time to do anything school related. And I don't know why my teammate decided to be a rat on us, but our project got an A, and they told the teacher we did nothing, so our GPA took a hit. That would be something if we ended up missing a playoff game because our GPA dropped too low. I think we've studied enough, but I'm just going to keep on studying to make sure that we don't fail our finals. It's also official that unless we lose to Texas, we're going to be in the SEC championship, and we're probably even going to win the Heisman Trophy because we're ahead of Gunnar Stockton for the moment. It might have taken us all video, but we can finally complete a challenge by beating Texas. And we're about to go up against Arch Manning, so we'll see if we're able to pull this off or if we're going to end up struggling. First play of the game, we're going to immediately get this one out and get railed. And I'd love to change the play call from these wide receiver screens, but it wasn't letting me, so we're just going to have to hope that it pans out, and it actually did for quite a bit. You can't complain about that. That is for sure. They've also sent a lot in our face, but Johnny Manziel's faster than all of them. So their home field advantage isn't affecting us too much so far. We just are going to have to take some shorter gains too. As much as I'd like to change the plays a little bit more, I'd much rather just make sure we aren't turning the ball over, and that's going to be short. Luckily, they're letting us go for it on 4th and 1, and it was an immediate rollout that was completely locked up. We also fumbled, so good job to the Texas defense. I definitely wish that that went a little bit differently for us, but it's just going to have to work out. We're going to throw some hard passes, win those jump balls. It's a look that's actually there more often than you'd think, and we're going to catch that too. There is a chance that Owens is going to get open in the end zone here, but every so often the running backs just don't catch it, so I'm glad he did. And again, I should have just been slinging it like this the entire video because it's actually going really well. We're peaking as our offense at the right time of year, especially since the playoffs are coming. And I just have to expect that every game I'm probably going to take a few sacks. I might be willing to take a deep shot as well. I saw that we were going to beat the press over there, but they have a safety getting back on the left side. Since it was cover 1, I really wasn't expecting him to play that part of the field, but it's okay. We're just going to take a more patient approach. It's still 7-7, so it's not like we're even trailing, and I saw them getting in. Whenever your pocket collapses immediately, there's not too much that you can do. I've never taken that route on that play, but maybe I should stop staring down like one receiver and just throwing it in his direction, because that's what I normally do, and it's why I have a lot of turnovers. I pre-decide where it's going, and whether or not it's open, the ball is going there, so he better find a way to get open. We're not getting in. In fact, I don't think it's going to work here either, but we're going to try and keep it on the ground with Johnny Manziel. I can't even see where he's at. Absolutely phenomenal work from the billion-dollar industry right there. You just gotta love it. Love it. It is what it is. Now we're in a position where Johnny Manziel has no chance at surviving the rest of this game. I mean, he's taken shot after shot. It's taken his wear and tear damage down quite a bit, the wrong spin direction. But you know what? We could still finish this first half with 2 touchdowns, and that'd be enough to make me happy at least. We could have had a lot more, that's for sure. But what am I supposed to do whenever they're getting in pressure like this? I just have to get out as soon as possible. Even then, it doesn't make much of a difference. It's literally the scariest defensive line that I've had to face all season, so we'll run. Part of me is still thinking about the fact that I need to finish this game with 5 touchdowns like the other one so I can complete that one challenge. But more importantly, we're not going to be able to complete quite a few challenges if we don't beat Texas in the first place. Johnny Manziel is starting to clutch up for us. I'm going to make this guy miss or not. Either way, the drive lives on, and we're going to wait for our slant to get open. If it's not there, you know exactly where I'm going. I think Texas has been able to pick up on my plan inside the red zone, which is why they knocked it out. And I want to know what button green is, but it's not telling me, so we're just going to have to make something happen ourselves. We're breaking 1 sack. We're going to have to throw this too. Put it in there. Just hope for the best. I got lucky. I literally guessed his button. It had a question mark on it. Even if I had good enough reaction time, I couldn't have made that happen. And our plan for the 2-point conversion is about as awful as it gets. There's no way we're getting it. At least our defense seems to be doing really well. They were able to get another stop. I need to throw this one away immediately. And I'm really pushing for more touchdowns in this game, but we have to be patient if those are going to come. On 3rd and 2, the read is very simple. See if they leave him open there or not, and then just take the sack. But it is what it is. We'd get it back with 3 minutes left in this game as well. And sure enough, I am not going to just settle for running. I want to score more touchdowns in the process of taking down Texas, even if it's going to come at the risk of losing. And do we think that they can press our receivers this well? There's a chance that they can, and they got to us. Well, it's back on our defense for the third time. And not only did they hold it down, they forced a turnover in a spot where we could score another tutty. Johnny Manziel doesn't seem like he wants to complete a pass at the moment, so I'm not sure we're actually going to do it. And what is happening to our offense? Our receiver, instead of catching it, literally swatted it down. I think I've seen it all in this game. We're just going to have to accept the fact that we were not meant to get many touchdowns against Texas. And with being super tired, I know that we can't scramble, so we've just had to take our check down and hope that he finds his way in. Although we didn't score as many touchdowns as I would have liked, we won the Lone Star Showdown, we beat our rival, and we earned our spot in the SEC Championship. It also turns out that we weren't as efficient on third down as I thought we'd be, and at this point in the year, half of my interceptions came against Hawaii. For total touchdowns, we're sitting at 47 of the 66 to set the record, and this SEC Championship is going to decide a lot. We're the best two teams in the country, but Georgia's the only undefeated one, and if you're thinking about the Heisman Trophy race, it might come down to whoever wins this game. Now that we've gotten through finals with a 3.0 GPA, we can mainly just focus on making sure that Johnny Manziel stays healthy. And if I had just one more skill point, we could get him platinum mobile resistance, but we're gonna have to wait another week. Either way, he's got incredible stats. He doesn't necessarily need it, especially since so many of his accuracies are 99. And if there's another team besides South Carolina in the country that's gonna beat us, it would be the Bulldogs. We're not trying to complete just one challenge with this game. There's two of them that are on the line. And by the end of this one, we should be taking home that trophy. For this first play, I wanted to just take a shot down the field. That was the look I was going for, but this is going to do just as well as me throwing it deep. And they're flipping sides of the field with some of their players before the snap, but it didn't work out the way I was hoping it would. It only would have if they were in man-to-man coverage, but they weren't. And that's what happens whenever I throw versus man-to-man coverage. This is not a good start, especially if we want to win the Heisman Trophy. Luckily, Gunnar Stockton's in the exact same position as we are in this matchup because he immediately turned it right back over. And going with a wide receiver screen is a bit risky because they could have gotten another. This is probably going to be a defensive game, which is not good news for us. I'm supposed to be scoring 5 touchdowns in every single matchup, and I didn't in the last. So I need to make up for it by scoring even more in this game, and that's only going to come with some lucky deep shots, hoping that we bring it in. Those actually feel like pretty good decisions to make for us. I mean, we've had a lot of them that could have gone really well. This is off target. And what else can I do? I got 99 throw accuracy. I was standing still. Johnny Manziel just isn't hitting. It's all good though. If I feel like he's not hitting his passes as accurate, we know that we can run. And I wish that we didn't start this game off so slow because we're starting to figure it out. I might even trust Noah Thomas to outrun some of these guys deep. If it's not there, then we're going to throw that one with a dude in our face over to our tight end. And we're just going to keep on hoping that we beat these corners like that. I see a little white dude running free. Tom Brady would be disappointed. The one thing he's supposed to be good at is catching. I might have had that receiver deep in the end zone, but I didn't want to take it. And here we go. We're going for the slant again. This time, they had it. I told you, I was throwing that ball no matter what. It could have easily been a turnover. And this is bad. I need to just scramble in instead of making these immediate reads that aren't open. Gunnar Stockton couldn't even respond with a touchdown, so it is really feeling like that Heisman Trophy could be mine, though that could have been bad. And I have to wonder, is it even worth it for us to try and take a deep shot, or should I just pad some stats? That's going to be the end of the first half. And here in the second, I have a vision where we're able to come up with a lot of touchdowns, but those are probably coming on the ground. I can do my best to get there through the air, but if it's not there, then we're just going to run. That'll be caught. And once we get down to like the 5-yard line, that's where passing is no longer worth the risk. I'm practically guaranteed to turn it over or just make a read that isn't that great. But if that ball was placed where it was supposed to be, it would have been a solid one. Instead, I threw it to the wrong receiver on third down, and we're left with 2 touchdowns going into the fourth quarter. We're going to need to have an explosive fourth. I gotta say, if it's going to be anybody's fault that I didn't get to 66 in this video, it is mine. That is a hard goal to achieve though, which is what I'm figuring out. I set the challenge scale pretty high, and we just need to turn around before they do. The craziest part is the guys that have 65 total touchdowns in a season so far, Joe Burrow and Western Kentucky's whatever his name was, I forgot it. I'll remember it in a second. Anyway, those two did it with less games. Bailey Zapp, that's what it was. Patriots legend, or whatever he did for them, we're running in. And this is where we need Georgia to run commit. If they bring enough guys down thinking that they're going to stop the run and get the ball back, we have a freebie. That was the last time that we're going to touch the ball in this game, though, because Gunnar Stockton took too long on their next drive. And with a 31-13 win, we're going into the playoffs hot. The real question, though, is can we win the Heisman Trophy? And there it is. It doesn't include our rushing touchdowns in that touchdown total. But either way, that leaves us with just 2 challenges left in this video. Any quarterback award that you could think of, we won it. We got every accolade possible, too, and we're currently sitting at 51 total touchdowns on the year. Since we didn't get a first round game in this playoff, we only have 3 left to throw for 15, and it's most likely going to be against Michigan, who just survived against rivals Ohio State, playing them for the second time in 2 weeks, then Georgia, and then someone else hard. I can tell you right now, I'm not looking forward to playing Georgia a second time. But before we face them, we have to face Michigan, who gave up 51 points and still won against Ohio State in the previous week. I'm going into this one expecting that we should be able to put up a lot of points. And I think they're going to be sending a blitz here. They are. It just depended on whether or not we picked it up and whether or not we can catch that deep throw. Now that I'm not afraid about throwing a bunch of interceptions, I might just start to air it out. It seems like more often than not, your receivers tend to catch it over the corners on here, so that's why I do it. And they're flipping corners before the snap, so I know that we can go over to that right side. I don't know why they do that, but every so often teams make some weird mistakes. Normally, the bugs drive me nuts, but it's going to help us here. And once again, it's said that they're in cover 1. Field general is a blessing of an ability, though that play wasn't. I probably rushed a little bit too much there. I can see why Michigan struggles to get stops, though. They just blitz like every time. I gotta say, we're making some pretty impressive catches, too. It's not like I've been finding guys as open as we were there. And I'm gonna run the exact same play I did a little bit ago, where I just scramble immediately and take it in. It truly is a great method if you have 98 speed. And I'm starting to wonder, how is this even a playoff game for us? It has felt so easy. They've either blitzed or been in cover 1 this entire matchup. This play's no different, so as long as we have enough time to get that throw out, we're going to score touchdown after touchdown. There was one other team that we faced that was like this season, and it was Mississippi State. So I don't know what it is about the two programs, but they're the ones that allow me to put up some crazy numbers. And I literally have zero respect for their defense. Sure enough, we had cover 1, but they got to us. Normally, Michigan's defense is pretty terrifying too, so that's why I'm so surprised that it's been this bad this early on. And I think we might even get into field goal range before the end of this first half, because we're already at the 30. This is genuinely insane. We don't need that much more. I'm going for that outside look where the safety can't play. Or maybe if they have cover 2 out there, which it just told me that they did, we should look to split the safeties, but it's cover 2 man, and that other safety played it anyway. I thought I'd control the situation, that I was going to be able to get 5 touchdowns before the end of the first half, but it just didn't work out that well. And now that I'm only staring downfield, I want to say our offense has slowed down, but Michigan still can't guard us. At no point this year have I had 350 passing yards at this point in a game, but this is good. I needed to put up some crazy numbers, getting a lot of touchdowns. After a defensive stop, we have it back on the 20-yard line, and they're running man-to-man still to this day. They're just not switching it up. It hasn't worked this entire game, and they don't care. Even better for us, they scored, so they're going to allow us to keep our starters out there on the field. I'm going to let Noah Thomas go for the 50-50 ball. He is the taller receiver. And we're just going to keep on airing it out. If it's there or not, I'm throwing it. We're literally just going to keep on forcing it everywhere. Since my last time I tried to beat cover 2 deep didn't go that well, I had a new setup out there that's still going to get played by that deep safety. But look at how their defense came out before this play. I mean, they were just asking us to complete another one. I'm going to be honest, this is just getting sad. Like, what is that right there? They're run committing down by 30? Whatever defensive playbook Michigan and then Mississippi State is in, that is the one that you want your team to avoid. Because this is how the computer plays whenever they're in it. Not very well at all, as we've racked up more touchdowns than ever before. This is really going to help me complete that total touchdown challenge, though. And it's funny, sometimes I have so much success that I wonder if somehow the difficulty got messed up. It's just weird, because when you contrast this game to some other teams that we play on Heisman, other defenses would never let this happen in a million years. I couldn't beat South Carolina. But sure enough, here against Michigan, I literally do whatever I want, and we were tackled short at the 1, so I had to run it in. It just doesn't even feel right that I could probably throw this up in the final 13 seconds and get yet another touchdown. We're hoping that they don't intercept it, though our guy didn't catch it. And I've made my stats look a little bit worse with some of the turnovers late in these playoffs, but I'm literally just doing it to get more touchdowns. We finished with 9. I think 2 interceptions is acceptable. And it shouldn't be a surprise, the Bulldogs are our next opponent. They obliterated Boise State, they obliterated UAB, they had the easiest path to this rematch. And I can't believe I didn't realize it, but we had enough skill points to upgrade mobile resistance, and I just forgot. Going into this one, they score more points per game than us, but we know that there's one team that can beat them, and that's the Aggies. I just realized too that by the time this video is out, my video where I got to go to the College Football 26 cover shoot is out, and one player, despite some of the legends there like Tim Tebow and Denard Robinson. I wish Johnny Manziel was there. Of course, meeting guys like Reggie Bush. Amazing experience. So thankful y'all got me there. But if I had to put together two of my favorite college players of all time, you're getting Marcus Mariota and then you're getting Johnny Manziel. After that, it's pretty subjective. It changes a lot. I was kind of too young to really experience the greatness of Tim Tebow. I got to read all the stories about it and stuff, but I was little. And I'm just trying to think of the people that literally made me just fall in love with the sport. And it goes back to that Oregon team. DeAnthony Thomas. RG3 and Cam Newton are another two that I can't ever forget. I mean, there were just so many great QBs in my childhood. But another player I might have to throw in the mix as well there, even though it's super recent, is Travis Hunter. As much as I still think what Ashton Genty did this year was deserving of the Heisman over him, I'm not upset he got it. But just statistically, I thought it should have gone to Genty. But either way, Travis was a beast to watch and super fun too. I'm really just sitting here reflecting on all the great college football I've gotten to watch. Another name I just thought of, Tavon Austin. I really feel like I just had one of the best eras possible to watch college football growing up. The reason I fell in love with it. What's funny is literally every generation has that own group of players that they agree is those few guys that just made them love the sport. And I think another thing too was just playing like NCAA football 06 with my dad a bunch. If you remember the GameCube consoles from back in the day, that is where it was at. And heck, there were some amazing sports games too. If you never touched NBA Ballers Phenom, I gotta say, for the time period, that was probably one of the most impressive things I'd ever seen. And I've been so confused at what's even going on. I'm just thinking, I'm not even playing. Apparently, there was some DPI there. We're sitting up 21-10. Again, wasn't realizing it. I'm sitting here reflecting. And is this how I gotta play the game more often? Because this has got to be one of my best performances ever. And it just keeps on getting better. Georgia's going down 28-10. I think I found my superpower. Just don't worry about the game that's going on and start thinking about some old memories and you'll perform best. I guess while we're at it, did anyone else have a massive Clash of Clans phase? Because through like 5th through 7th grade, I was on that too. I mean, you still had a global chat back there in the game at the time, so you could just talk with any random person. Not great for a 10-year-old. It probably is a good thing that they got rid of that. But that game alone was just great. And I hit the wrong button. My lack of focus could have hindered us there, but it doesn't matter. This game is so over anyway. Johnny, hit your throws. I guess that's the end of the third quarter. And this will have to do more with GTA 6 coming out pretty soon. But GTA San Andreas on the phone, another gem. Even acquiring NCAA Football 14 whenever it was like $200, finding a copy, finding a PS3 to do that. Great time. And let's see, what else? I mean, Minecraft had a good run for a long while. I could even go back to that game today and probably enjoy it. Some other underrated ones I've actually played in the last few years. Fallout 4, definitely up there. Some of the other Fallouts, not a fan of. And then Fortnite. Who can forget about the impact that Fortnite had like 5-6 years ago? My routine in high school was school, sports, go home, play Fortnite until like 2 a.m. That was it. Life was good back then, man. It was simple. Life's still great now, though. I gotta say, I really appreciate y'all. I've really been thinking about it recently. I'm 22 now, so everybody that I grew up with has been graduating college and posting their degrees online and stuff. And I'm sitting here like, well, I dropped out. I play video games. But it is really a blessing that I get to do this, and I am not regretting it at all. Thinking back on trying to finish that statistics degree, I'm not sure I would have enjoyed that the way I enjoy this game. And in a whole period on just reflecting back on memories, we annihilated Georgia, we've stumbled into the championship, and I might have even set the total touchdown record. We'll check that in a sec. We have Nebraska in the championship. We can't let them get back to their former glory. And I'm really glad that it was them, because if it wasn't, it was going to be a rematch against Texas. If you do the quick math though, we got 43 passing touchdowns. We got 23 rushing touchdowns. That's 66. And that means there's one challenge left to complete, winning it all. Headed into this matchup, I'm feeling extremely confident. And if we ended up losing this to Dylan Raiola in Nebraska, I'd be devastated. We have come way too long of a way to lose this game now. Johnny, breaking one. And if it's going to come that hard on him, we're just going to have to get out there quicker. I'm going to look for R1. Wait, and then hit. I've really just been slinging it recently without a thought going on in my mind. I feel like that's when I perform best. So we're going to keep that up. We're going to try and get around both of these guys with a spin. And let's see, what are we going to have on this play? No one open except if we get it above that linebacker's head and he hits us. It is probably time to go back to reminiscing on better memories, better days. So I'm going to start doing that so we can have success, so we can beat Nebraska. We're getting in here. What's another thing that used to be elite that's now just kind of meh? Instagram, especially with Instagram Reels there. I really don't enjoy using social media anymore, which is kind of weird since this is my job and I'm supposed to want to grow them, but I just don't like it. I end up scrolling forever over meaningless stuff that I really don't care about that I'm gonna forget in a couple of minutes anyway. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care what everyone else is trying to put on like a perfect show off of their life, because if I care about someone, I already know what's going on. This has been a little bit of a problem though. Management company says they can't get me as many deals as they want because I'm not active on those platforms. And my come up was on TikTok, which I have just completely disregarded. So this year, the goal is different. I'm gonna try to post some short form content. If you see me posting some Instagram stories too of some dumb stuff, just know I'm doing my best. I'm trying to hit that real influencer peak. But I honestly just like to keep most of my life pretty private. I just do. I don't know. There's something weird about trying to share everything to me. I really like to just enjoy the moment whenever I get to do new stuff. I don't want to think like from a content perspective. Perfect example. Last year, I went out to North Texas. They had me out there, and they didn't have me under any deliverables to film, which meant I had to do nothing besides show up. I got a behind-the-scenes tour of their entire facility, met with their athletic director, met a lot of great people there. I got to go onto the field, got like great seats at the game all over their stadium. And I even played some of their players in the locker room in College Football 25. Now, looking back, that would have been a great thing to film, great video. In fact, I regret the fact that I didn't, because it would have been a cool content and insight for you all that you normally wouldn't get to see, but I'm hoping I get to this year. Last year, just took my dad out there. We had a great time, but this time I'll think more from the content perspective. I want you all to see some of the cool stuff that you make possible happen. And look at this. I've just been rambling on and we're up 28-6. What? I'm gonna be honest, boys, this is quite the feeling. I don't even feel like I'm filming or doing content now. I think that's one thing that helped me do really well and blow up so quickly and have the success that came, is I'm always trying to think of how can I get that average view duration up, keep people watching. But when you do that so heavily all the time, every week, you kind of lose the joy that comes with it. Just playing the game, having fun. The thing about this though, is we're currently at peak off season, probably like 50 minutes deep in a video. And so if you're watching the channel now, if you have made it this far, 50 minutes deep on this video at this point in the year, you are the true diehard. This is it right here. This is my core group of supporters that I appreciate so much. Because everyone else, like there's going to be casuals that come around again when College Football 26 comes out. And that's okay. I am a very casual viewer for quite a few games, especially if I have a phase where I enjoy it for a week. I'll watch someone one time, never see him again. I watch a lot of people too that I might check back in on 2-3 years later and completely forget they exist. That's good. No matter what category you fall into, what I see YouTube as is just a way to turn your brain off and relax. If I had to pick between watching that or TV, I'm picking that every single time. It's just what I grew up on. And I think a lot of people, especially in my generation, are the same way. As we sit here, watch the confetti fall, I have to say, I've gotten some incredible DMs, some stuff that's really touched my heart on just how these videos can really help some of you all. It made me realize that other YouTubers help me too. And again, that I get to do that for a living, major blessing. So you know what? Even though I completed all these challenges in this video, I'm giving away 2 copies of College Football 26 from this one. I'm adding that onto the total. And by the time that this is coming out, I think we're about a month away from the game. It's coming close.